Yeah. Hi. So, Andy, can you introduce yourself? Talk about when you did the DTU summer lab.
Yeah, sure. My name is Andy Ogrens. I graduated from Case Western in May of 2020 with a degree in chemical engineering. And I did the DTU summer lab the summer of 2019, so in between my junior and senior year.
And when you got there, can you talk about what your normal work day looked like?
Yeah, so the lab runs for the course runs for about a month, and you work in, or at least I worked in a group of two. It was me and one other student from Case Western, and we basically, when you get there, they tell you to expect to work essentially every single day of the week on lab work, because every day you're either in lab working on the lab and getting data or putting together the lab reports. We worked basically every single day for the month, and then near the end of the course, there's like a period where you take a break from doing lab work and do cultural presentations. So that on one of those days, I had like a day off where I was able to go. But they really do tell you, while you're there for the run of the course, plan on being there for the run of the course, working hard. So my partner and I would typically wake up and meet either in the lab, in the pilot plant, and get data, or wake up and meet in the library and work on our lab reports.
And when was your day done? Was it a 9 to 5 kind of day?
It depends. If we were in the pilot plant, you have to do two. So in general, your labs are either going to be like a half day or a full day. If they're a half day, you're either going to be in the morning session or the afternoon session. And if they're full day, you're there all day, and it sucks. Well, I shouldn't say it sucks. It's just really hard. I think everyone has to do 1 or 2 full day labs, and those are the hard ones where you'll basically finish at like 5 or 6 and then just go right back to your apartment and just fall asleep. Or at least I did. My partner and I, Kim, we basically, I don't know, it probably wasn't a 9 to 5, but we probably worked about that long every day on the stuff, on the projects. So yeah, I'd say it was basically a 9 to 5.
So were you able to explore Denmark at all? You're kind of in a suburb, right? Can you describe kind of where DTU is located?
Yeah, so DTU is a 30-minute train ride north of Copenhagen in the town of Lyngby. So during the run of the course, I don't think you would have time to explore Denmark, because you have a lab report due just like every 3 or 4 days. And so you need to spend the time putting together those lab reports. Near the end of the course, we had like a free day. So I went into Copenhagen and I just spent the day walking around Copenhagen. And they also put together an excursion where they like brought everyone in the course around to like a few different museums and cool places around Denmark. But if you want to like do tourist stuff around Northern Europe, you should plan to either come early or stay late. Mm-hmm. That's my suggestion. Like I went to DTU after going on a 2-week vacation with my family. So that was like I had my break and then I went and did the course for a month. So.
How many people are part of the program? Did you get to meet the other people that weren't your lab partner?
So I didn't know my lab partner going into the course. We met there, and we became very, very familiar with each other by the end of the course. We got along great. So I was lucky in that regard. I think there were 50 or 60 other students. Most of them came from either Virginia Tech, University of Alabama, or Clemson. And then there were like 8 students, including me and Kim, from other schools. And Kim and I got along well with some of the Clemson students, and everyone was super nice. Yeah, I mean, I didn't make any lifelong friends, or like I'm not in contact with any of them still today, but they were really nice and we hung out sometimes.
Can you talk about housing, food?
Yeah, so there is like an on-campus cafeteria place, but I found it was easier just to buy my own groceries and cook. When I went, it was like the first year they had these brand new this brand new housing option. So it was like a block of rooms like pushed back in the corner of campus, where everyone got their own studio essentially. So I really liked it because I got my own kitchen. It's basically just like a long room with its own bathroom, a little kitchen area, a bed, and then like a table. So I would stop at Market, kind of like Constantino's, I guess, for Case Western. And I just pick up groceries on my way back from lab, and I just cook food for myself. There were like a few food trucks on campus that I would sometimes get lunch from, but in general, it's really expensive to eat out in Denmark. So it's recommended that if you're going, you either bring a lot of food to eat out with, or you bring a lot of money so you can afford to eat out, or you get comfortable cooking for yourself. I think there was an Aldi's, but it was like a farther walk from campus, so I never went there. Let me see what else. Oh, there was no Wi-Fi in the dorms. There was only a wired Ethernet connection. So what I did was I bought a small like travel router, and I plugged that into the wall and then made my own Wi-Fi signal. But it was a problem when I first got there because I didn't have internet, I didn't have mobile data, and I had no way to contact my parents to tell them I got there safely. So either if you're going, make sure you bring an Ethernet cord, or get like a small little travel router so you can make your own Wi-Fi signal.
Do you have any other general advice or what you wish you would have known before you went?
I do kind of wish that I had like seen more of the surrounding area, but it's kind of hard to make that time when you're neck deep in senior lab. I am really glad that I did it, because it meant that my fall semester was super easy compared to everyone else, because everyone else is taking senior lab, and the only chemical engineering class I have is the economics one. So it was made for a very light fall semester. I really recommend doing it if you're interested, if you have the summer free. I do recommend not holing up in your room. Just like walk around. Lyngby is it's like a really pretty campus. And if you make time to go to Copenhagen, rent a bike, because everything is incredibly bike friendly. Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you so much. I think that kind of hit on the main things that I was looking for, and that I tried to tell students. I mean, a lot of it is it's a pretty hard job while you're there.
Yes. Yeah.
But it sounds like it's worth it. One last thing, it sounds like your last presentation was on culture and working across cultures. How was it working with across cultures, working with Danes, working in kind of an international lab?
Yeah, so the last presentation was on, everyone had to choose like a topic of Danish culture. So Kim and I presented on, there's like a commune inside of Copenhagen that I forget the name of, but it's essentially in the 1960s, this group of hippies seized this neighborhood and said, we are not in the EU. This is our own independent settlement. So that was what our presentation was on. So that's the last thing you'll do is give some presentation on culture. People did beer, Vikings, lots of different things. But It was fine. I thought it was fine working with the dean professors. It's much less formal than it is in the US. You refer to them by their first name, which took quite a bit of getting used to for me anyway. Um, but they're all very nice. Uh, the biggest transition was at figuring out how to print, I think, for me. Because they're like a few little quirks where like they want the physical printed out copies of your lab reports, which is weird because in the US you can just submit the PDF for basically any class, especially now. But like they wanted the paper copy, they wanted in like a specific format, they wanted you to like cite things in a specific way, but it's all just hurdles to get through. And at this point in college, most people are pretty good at jumping through hurdles.
Great. Well, great. Thank you so much for chatting.
Yeah, of course. I hope this is helpful to students in the future who are interested in the program.